going on, everyone? The Brooklyn Nets decided to run it back for at least one more year. We will see what happens, right? This team on paper is a legit contender. They are terrifying. And in my opinion, the best roster front to back in the entire league. There are a lot of questions, of course, with these three guys. The reliability, are they going to play? And I really believe Brooklyn is just one bad day away from this team just imploding. And that happens in an 82-game season. Everything's going to be under a microscope. Everything's going to be magnified this year because of all the drama that happened in the offseason. All of that stuff is going to be brought back up come the trade deadline and then going into next season. So there's a lot of questions about the Brooklyn Nets team, and are they going to be mentally tough enough to handle the season as well as once they get into the playoffs, get that done. Ben Simmons, what happens if they have to play Philly in the playoffs? Like, is he going to mentally be able to be there and, deal with all the fans saying all kinds of stuff to him and the players talking to him about being a quitter and this, that, and the other? Like, just so many questions. But nonetheless, Brooklyn is not done. They still want to improve their roster. They still have their mid-level exception, which they likely use, and they could really use size at center. Now, they have Nick Claxton, obviously, and the reports have came out that Ben Simmons may spend some time at center, which in certain matchups could be very well as, in certain spots, things like that. He does have the size, he's 6'10", 6'11", and so he has the size to play center, but you don't want him baiting down low with big guys. You don't want him going up against Garden and Embiid or, the Joker, stuff like that. You want him to, if he's going up against Draymond, stuff like that. Okay, cool. Or if teams go small or have like a smaller center or a center that likes to get out in the perimeter and shoot threes, not down low threat. Like those kind of things, those kind of matchups, sure. You can have Ben Simmons play the center. But it would be nice for them to go get some size. Now, right off the bat, there are two guys in DeMarcus Cousins and Hassan Whiteside. Both have been linked to the Brooklyn Nets, and those are two guys that they could easily sign, bring on board, and have them fill in the center role. You could have Nick Claxton be your starter and then have Hassan come off the bench, or vice versa, have Nick Claxton come off the bench. DeMarcus Cousins, he's a guy that was really great for Denver last season. I'm surprised Denver didn't actually lock him up again. So he's a guy that, again, can shoot the three balls, got some size down low. He could be the guy that guards the Joker and guards, Embiid and stuff like that. He's that, he's that tough guy, go get you technical, stuff like that. Teams need that. You need that kind of player. You need that kind of intensity on your team. And he would be a guy that I think would be great for them. Hassan Whiteside as well. You get a shot blocker, rebounder. Doesn't need the ball much. Not really going to get you shooting and stuff, but he is a lob threat. And this team, the beauty of the Nets is they don't need a floor spacing big. They have plenty of floor spacing with Kyrie, KD, Seth Curry, Patty Mills, TJ Warren, Joe Harris, if he comes back and is healthy. I mean, the floor spacing is not going to be an issue, and it might actually be nice to have that lob threat down low. So if the shot's not falling, you have Kyrie, KD kind of create a play and then just easy lob to a guy like Hassan Whiteside, stuff like that. So there are definitely options out there for this, Brooklyn Nets team to go and get a center. But a report has came out on a potential direction in which the Nets are trying to acquire via trade, and that is Myles Turner. Now, Myles Turner is a player that they have wanted for years, based on reports. There was even talks about, maybe working out a deal to acquire Myles Turner in what could have been a Kyrie trade. Obviously, that didn't happen, but based on the reports, Brother Heavy, that the Nets are looking to try to figure out a way to acquire Myles Turner. Now, if the asking price is anywhere near what the Lakers were proposed from the Pacers, then there's no way, not even close, that the Nets can do it, because they don't really have picks, they don't really have assets, they don't really have a lot of tradable stuff, and that's the problem, is how do they get there for a guy like Myles Turner? They don't really have any valuable trade pieces and guys that can really match salary for Myles Turner, and they don't have any picks to trade for the next 7 years. So how do you get there? That was even relayed in the report, is that they would love to target Myles Turner, but how? How do they end up trading for Myles Turner? That's the big thing, because you're not going to trade Ben Simmons, you're not going to trade Kyrie Irving, you're not going to trade Anthony Davis. It makes no sense for the Pacers to take Joe Harris, on his contract, or Patty Mills and, a Seth Curry, something like that, but then you're losing your shoot. It's just, I don't know how the Nets end up landing Myles Turner, but they still would like a deal. Now, if they could figure out a way to go get a Myles Turner, then absolutely. I mean, that would be huge. Imagine a starting five of Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, and Myles Turner. Come on. I mean, and you'd have that Myles Turner, just shot blocker, the guy that he could spread the floor and knock down three, so you still have your spacing if you need to. You could have Ben Simmons just kind of play down low on offense, and Myles Turner could spread the floor. He can knock it down from, all over the floor. He's a great shooter. Again, great shot blocker. Rebounds is always kind of been a thing. He's averaged, 7 a game for them. For the Pacers, he's basically a 12-7 guy. But you get the defense, you get the shot blocking, you get the floor spacing, you get the shooting, you get a guy that doesn't need the ball in his hands very much, kind of just can create and get him easy buckets. I think that this would be absolutely huge for the Brooklyn Nets. It's just, again, how do they make that happen? How do they get there to acquire a guy like Myles Turner? Now, in the Lakers Pacers deal, it made sense because you would basically be sending out Kyrie to the Lakers, getting some first round picks, and then Myles Turner would have been going to the Nets, like something like that. Like, yeah, okay, because you can make the salaries match, it makes sense for everybody, this, that, and the other. But again, that fell through. So it's like, who are you trading to go get a guy like Myles Turner? Are you really going to move off of Seth and Patty Mills? And do the Pacers even want Seth and Patty Mills? You don't have any picks to trade. So it's not like you could give 2 or 3 first, and it's like, hey, we'll give you, Patty Mills, Seth Curry. Yeah, it might not be the best thing in the world for you, but, or here, take Joe Harris, you're a rebuilding team, but we'll give you 3 first-round picks or 2 first rounds in a couple seconds or something like that. They can't. They don't have that. So, and even all the picks they do have are pick swaps with the Rockets. So it's just like however you shake it. I don't see how the Nets could go get Myles Turner, because this is something we even talked about when we were covering the Kyrie trade thing here. Like, many people were bringing up, why would they want to trade Kyrie when they could just go trade for Myles Turner? And that was my thing. Like, who? How? They have no picks. They have no assets. They have no real tradable contracts outside of their big 3 and Joe Harris. But Joe Harris makes no sense for the Pacers. They already have Buddy Hield, and they have Buddy Hield on the exact same contract that Joe Harris is. Like, they don't need 2 of those guys. Like, so it would make no sense. And plus, there's a lot of questions with Joe Harris. At least with the Lakers, you could at least get a first or a couple seconds or some picks in a potential Lakers deal for Myles Turner. So it's like, why would that? Like, even if the Lakers did the Jazz deal, right? Like, you could get back, if the Lakers really want Myles Turner, you could get back, say, Beasley and, a second from Myles Turner. That's better than anything that the Brooklyn Nets could trade. So, if the Pacers were that, unless they just don't want to trade him to the Lakers, but even then, who are the Pacers taking on to move off of Myles Turner? And it's not like they can get draft compensation. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it making sense for the Pacers. Obviously, it'd make all the sense in the world for the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, you get that shot blocker, you get that low post threat, you get a center that can space the floor, all of those things. I really think that they're going to be looking at Hassan Whiteside and DeMarcus Cousins, I think, or even a Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard's another name that could be out there. Go get Hassan Whiteside and Dwight Howard. There you go. Now you have your depth. You also have Nick Claxton. Dwight Howard spent a whole year doing DMPs and stuff like that, or just get one of them and have Nick Claxton, I don't think it's as big of a concern as Brooklyn. Look, there's no way you look at Brooklyn's team right now and say they're not a contender, that they're not arguably the best team in the league. If you remove all the mental stuff, you remove the potential for implosion, all of that stuff, yeah, I understand that. But let's say it's just a normal season, everything goes right, you might be looking at the best team in the league. Seriously, they're monstrous. And Ben Simmons is a much better fit than James Harden ever would have been. Just because he doesn't need the ball. And everything that he is good at is what Kyrie and KD aren't. That defense, the size, the rebounding, the stuff like that. He's going to be able to do all the dirty work. He's going to be a Draymond Green on steroids for this team. That's huge for Brooklyn. So, and he's a guy that can get the ball off the rim and just run it down the court because he's played point guard his career. So it's that's perfect. And so I don't think the size thing is going to be as big of a deal as, I mean, look at the Warriors the last several years. They haven't had a real true center. They have Draymond playing center 90% of the time, or Looney. They don't need, Brooklyn has enough firepower to where they don't really need a true center. And they got a guy in Nick Claxton. You can run Ben Simmons at center at times if need be, and go get a Hassan Whiteside, or a Dwight Howard, or even like DeMarcus Cousins. I know there's concerns with him and just injuries and stuff, but you just need guys to fill in for 10 minutes here and there, or if you're going up against a big team, you have that body with size that can bang down low if you need it. You're fine. But anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions, and as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think Brooklyn has a path to get Myles Turner? Do you think that's even a real possibility? I don't see it personally, but hey, maybe if they can work it out, that'd be fantastic. Like I said, Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, and Myles Turner. Come on, that's not fair. Literally, that would not be fair. But I don't see how they get there. Who do you think they should sign? Do you think they use their money? Go get a Hassan Whiteside, go get a DeMarcus Cousins, go get a Dwight Howard? Do you think that would be a better route? However you feel about the situation, let me know down in the comment section below. One last little shameless plug is I did start As It Stands Lakers. It is a channel just like this, dedicated to only the Lakers, because the Lakers are my favorite team. And on this channel, As It Stands, I talk about all teams, all sports, stuff like that. We have football season coming up, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I just wanted to make a dedicated channel to the Lakers to give the ins and outs. Now, all the big stuff, all the big news and stuff, I will still post here on this channel. But if you want all the ins and outs and just rumors and theories and just discussions just strictly on the Lakers, link down in the description or in the comment section. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.